This screen found with a firm grip, you raise the pry bar, a glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, lorry cabin. The window shatters and droplets.
Subtle.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of... These are movie posters, featuring one of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin. The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably Grenade No. 5. The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The actresses and the rear actor all looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires...
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. Doesn't look like it.
The ghostly act. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here. A hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to... Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique? Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? You're right, but we should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter.
The movie stars are still smiling. Voila, a stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind.
Bonne prise.
This large map displays the elevated motorway. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881. High above them to Kuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to step. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath us. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history. The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from... Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road.
So it would seem. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them. Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still... The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes. But really that with cool names, like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta. It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany. Especially bad news for cops who may have something in their past they don't.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensic.
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a rubber handle, worn from years of... A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty. It's an issue of Peripherique. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Posters, a radio, dust on the windows. He closed the...
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly.
This means it's well.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may.
Listening in on your calls.
Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical and last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver as.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find.
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my... There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade. Yes.
Unimportant.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use a debrief over, after you.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble? Oh man, that's like a load off.
He chooses to believe what's best for her.
Oh, you know. Tommy Laham's gonna be a musician.
The correct grammar is
Tommy Laham was taken.
It's more him. The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Like hell you have. There is no...
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you.
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big...
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you...
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community. No, there aren't. Some little shit...
Whatever you've seen is peanuts.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on it.
My answer is...
Finally, you got something out of him.
And here we...
I know! Fed! Go fuck your mom!
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? By love, you did.
She is memorizing.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man. What can I help you with, Lieutenant?
How about you share your information on the...
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed... I cannot rescind that promise. To my knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them. I am glad to hear that. Because now... Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Yes.
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
If there is an investigation, it will be...
Of course, detectives. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you...
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil...
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is...
Then we're on the same page. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they were dispatched.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple.
Who are they?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience.
So...
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2... It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching.
What is the nature of the...
Whether to execute one?
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
It's not good. No. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute every...
They would have to project...
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will...
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. As I said, a bloodbath. Too many things have already gone wrong. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. They're public They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz.
Meaning they're used to operating in...
Yes. All the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yesut, the Semini... Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, if you still have access to the ICP's database...
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the...
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like... I have. And they will. However, the...
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she...
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it that the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit.
The lieutenant consults his...
Odd. We haven't heard any reports.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
If you mean did I see him alive? Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. One is a man. Courty, they call...
What would you say was his eye color?
She closes her.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50.
Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw.
He was, in a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Did you miss the part about...
That is a bad idea. One I won't be a party to.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe,
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my...
your concern may be appearances.
That would afford a good vantage point.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short way. I hope I can answer it better until the executions start.
They don't report their progress to you.
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. Of course. Excuse my head.
For about she wears fingerless gloves. Her
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can't. But that close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die.
Where is he now?
I would say he's near the Arcade Islands by now. Ready to exit the Insulindian and into the... quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese...
What next?
Then he made his way to the Preto Grande, through what I think must be the Stadskanal Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol.
The old world.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic...
In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways. Just like we don't need sailors the way...
For all the boys looking for adventure.
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can...
Vigilance officer? What can this all carry? Vigilance officer? There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not heard if you are investigating. Revachol Fair of 91 in the Thorberg district. This was the happiest day of my life. Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual. I was 22 when I won her back.
You were like a dark cloud sucking...
Dark cloud.
Those days and memory...
The old soldier says nothing. But when his glance...
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I help? Sweet, of course. Sure of it. No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
His neck muscles tense up. It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not
Fucking bug.
You hear a tiny... I'm going to interpret that as a yes.
How about you?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now. The man's breathing.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea. Silence. He takes... You see dead flesh.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in. What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fuck. He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes.
With some strange emotion. This is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bush. We shot the boy. He was useless. She was quite the entertainment. For the week she lasted, expired in the hand. God. Mason couldn't let go. Drowned in a creek a week.
There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless. Odorless. It's...
No. Oh, you bet it was. It's just... nature. Fucking mask is getting sweaty.
He's under orders. And orders are orders.
Go ahead. All right now. Freak!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is... The tear machines, your bottles clunk.
Waves a bit.
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with waves and fishermen? But until that happens... Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Oh. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? That's great. Until then...
Sire, she doth not believe it wasn't you.
Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all? Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're...
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotvaldian philosophers.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. And where you take it from someone who's been through a few funerals.
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. Yes, that is a pity. But for now, let's focus on the thing.
You like the Kupri funeral idea?
Danko.
There's no way.
Dank.
There's... Someone has left an unidentifiable on the cloth. If you can still, it's streaked with dried seagull shit. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
As you hold it in your hand, it's a sordid, filthy tale. It occurs to you that you're not even. It smells like a dead sea creature. Tangled. Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. What? No. Then it'll just be on your pants. This is a disaster. As you hold it in your hands, there is no why. The note is written. As you hold it in your, it's probably. The smell. It's awful, and it doesn't help. You can still... Don't be naive. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. Something cold. It is death. The lieutenant...
Eyes up, detective.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrap. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup. It's no older than a day. It's hard to cook. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there.
A tragedy.
He shakes his head with whoever tossed it here. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent, and the smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer.
Another dead body. Calm now. He's wearing mud-caked boots, a cool leather jacket with a bolt. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked...
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is... His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. Height, 170 to... He was confused when he died. Confused and a man. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies near. A dried chunk of blood covers the... This is...
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exact...
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk. You see waves churning below. So he could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him. A .75-liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing.
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this...
True. It feels disrespectful. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaf, the blackness of death. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack.
He ate the whole pack, right? I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum.
The entire boardwalk.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know. But that's just a lazy...
A dead working-class man with a bottle in his hand. Don't dis...
The woman you met at the book stand?
Because it's the most working-class death you've ever seen.
Yes, but What actual facts do you have that connect him with this woman you met at the bookstand? I can't see a book. So he took the book to the library. Then
I'll have one. The view from the lookout is beautiful.
damn it. He's definitely someone's husband. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely, but I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. No, I don't see.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? 2 suspicious deaths in such a short time frame.
Without any further evidence? What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from...
Sometimes a kebab.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward... From where I stand, I can see 2 options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our code. A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. Good call. The guys at processing can... Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we...
The library card is folded into 2 and still slightly wet to the... Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased or his family member. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books. Most of these titles seem, if lost, please return the card.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
This is Precinct 57. One moment. Can you please describe the body?
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he...
Any signs of violence? No field autopsy.
You can hear her quickly type.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes? Any information on the library? Good. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to... I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Hold on. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can...
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist.
Billy Majon, you said. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright?
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day. Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other day.
Maurice, what? A woman yells. Then,
Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's...
good. You have a name now.
Marie knows Billy. She's...
And then goes for a little drink later. On the lookout.
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie? She said it was an older man. Sorry. Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Happy we could help. Goodbye.
Anything else you need? 50...
In the cabin. That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers.
I'll keep my armistice hand.
He doesn't actually reach for his... The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade. Even today, half a century after, to symbolize the toppling of also some social democrats, because white is the color. You see noble aims, but also mount the price of idealism.
Give me a moment. It's about Victor, isn't it? It's always about Victor with her. You'll find the measures in...
Hello again, officers.
I don't believe it. I've never known.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine.
There'll never be skulls, but
Their hearts are in the right place. Fat chance. But you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
She throws you a conspiracy.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, This place is a sepulcher. We'll paint...
A weathered brown... Something smoked. The lieutenant motioned. This is the door.
Don't knock. Just leave. You don't need this. You don't need to sad it up.
You're right. Let's...
You hear light footsteps.
We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased... Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. Dad, just don't say that you know how they feel.
Good advice.
Yes, it's hard.
The lieutenant motions toward...
Hello?
And someone turns down the radio. He gives you a short...
The police.
Tidying up. There's fear in...
Come in. The door.
It's you, from the bookstand. Did you come to bring my cockatoo back? I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses. He must feel vulnerable without his glasses. Is this why he's letting you take the lead?
Is this about Victor, my husband? No, this is something much...
How about some small talk before you break the news?
How have I been? You're not...
Can't write a scene without knowing the actors. Ask more. Get comfortable around. I don't want to. There has been enough. I don't want to do this.
Do what?
Officer.
Too late. You...
Excuse me? What? What did you say?
She's in pain.
We are very sorry to inform you, but...
Oh. But he was just...
He was just...
I understand that this comes as a huge shock.
What happened to him? Tell me. Why?
You stupid...
It looks like he slipped on the boardwalk.
And you just... How long had he been there?
She doesn't reply. You hear the clock ticking.
Is there anyone we could call for you?
No. I just need to tell my girls.
Unreal.
God. Should I call them? Should I tell them to come home? All right. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him? You haven't even taken him away?
No. He was taken to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Is there anything else?
No. I'll call you if something comes up. I'm a brain condition. Yes, that's what...
Apologies. My partner did not mean to make light of the situation. Again, if there's anything...
She just nods.
I'll take it from here.
We should step outside and talk. So...
He's avoiding your gaze. This is the time to say how sorry you are about how things went.
It's all right. Don't worry. I'll call the station when we're finished with the day and let them know the name of the deceased. That's it. There's not much we can do for them. And, officer, I've seen worse. This wasn't the worst I've seen.
I really have, he thinks. She was strong.
Trying to sneak up on me again?
It's you again. What is it?
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with...
Huh? You got a problem with...
Not quite there yet. Push on.
Speak for yourself, buddy. We've been giving a shit for 10 years.
They don't know, man. They weren't here. We had 3 shootings a week, kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere.
Congratulations on the graffiti removal. All I see...
So what?
Don't let him drink that. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already.
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it.
You wanna help her, cop? Fine. If you don't, if you question her,
What is her name?
Glacia. I'm on due. She's staying.
Shit. The girl. The girl upstairs.
Oh, it's her! It's definitely her! It's Miss Oranje, disco dancer!
Sure. Why not? You've probably seen her around.
You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bubbling.
I don't understand what's so cool here.
Nothing. We just have a few...
Whatever you do not tell him you know her. Calm. Normal. Try to forget this little hiccup.
Relationship? There was no fucking relationship.
Something is off here.
Was like that carry.
Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant.
You did it before we killed him. He's not gonna...
It would help if we...
All right. 2 weeks, maybe?
Here you go, boss.
I know her.
How,
A small twitch in the corner.
Well enough, Copper. We party. She's been here for a few months. You mean Revachol? Nah.
Don't you give her any more trouble. Shut up, Angie.
Titus gives them. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this.
What do you think I meant? Yeah, tons of it. No, we just fucked. That's all. I'm not gonna give...
He really went out of his way to see. He's doing a good job here. A commendable performance of... I don't...
Remember what I said. Freight. Yeah.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own.
Let them come. The hardy...
You heard the man. Right here. Yeah. Well, oil it, Martin. So are the... Yeah.
These people are trained.
No, they're not. We got weapons of our own. We got Esther. I guess we're going...
That was an unsure phrasing.
Yeah. Like you've been up against... You haven't even seen the whole big fucking surprise.
He's really prepped himself.
What do you mean? Okay. Yeah, just try.
I think he meant a cat. Beneath the whoopassery, it's... Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. Nothing. Just black tangles like the hair of an old woman. Behind the dockworkers, there's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow. Faded. Someone hid the key in... It's close enough to the...
Huh? I'm not your janitor.
If he says it's there, it's there.
And I need the fatty to...
God damn it, Dennis. You know I... Sorry, fucko. These guys won't help you. Looks like you're gonna have to go...
I'm gonna...
With a loud the key is brass.
Come on, man. We were just...
I'm tired of listening to your shit. Don't thank me. I don't give two shit.
There is a silence around this man's wood.
Didn't even...
Never even seen.
It could open it.
It's worth a try.
Officer, what was that? You looked strange when he mentioned the assault victim's name. Is there something I should...
Whatever you do, don't say the first thing.
Understood. You were not in... Okay, that's manageable. This is unprofessional. Not sharing information with me is...
His opinion of you has lowered considerably. You see ahead. The key fits the dimple lock. Dust rises before you know. man pondered.
Hey, was there...
The man, he looks up at, shrugging is an international sign for. All these mesmerizing machines feels like it might jump back to life any moment. The light,
Some kind of inane pinball theme.
the lieutenant grimaces. Look,
You can't fire them.
what a dumb name. Royalist Pinball. If they weren't broken, he would kick one of these.
No, I love.
He doesn't. It's strange that he doesn't like
Us? Seoul is an But even I know that they don't play pinball. They have a... No, they are not. Let's move on. No.
over there in the... Not just any pinball.
The pinball machine. God is good. A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play to...
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. Above the painting of a moustache, the theme of the game is to explore. The peak of the mountain is at the top of areas around the place. Indeed. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty go.
I feel sorry for the gods. If they only knew the kind of a guy who uses the word an avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dive. He also hit his wife. But you seem to be having fun.
Your game is definitely improving. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top, maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a tiny hammer shatters something inside the machine. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine stops.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually this can be navigated. The ball, you're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is... You're in a perfectly balanced system where neither you nor the pal is able to get the upper hand. This could go on forever.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and...
There goes nothing. This small elevator is dim, smells of nougat and sweat. The maintenance card under the control panel reads, there are large rectangular buttons, monter, descente, and an international call for emergency assistance. That third one appears to be broken.
That it does. I say, let's brave it. At the end of the last century, look on the bright side.
It appears his whole enthusiasm
seems like a small freight elevator for transporting.
So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room.
At some point, 20 years ago, looks like it. I'm guessing...
A creak. Some dust falls off a shelf.
Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door.
Remember the dice maker? Then that means...
Ah, yes, as the novelty dice maker said. This has absolutely nothing to do...
But then, it went bankrupt. Your skin...
If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not good. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy.
Stupid superstition. But still, it is not a ghost story. You clearly see footprints.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new. 3 weeks maximum, from the dust cover.
This is good. He likes.
The Blue Door was a mega investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, which I would say is quite large. It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route, behind our rape victim's room.
Large prints, most likely made by Boots. The size, one person has been here. They've gone back and forth.
Between that and that. The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. No, these little horizontal lines are different.
Everything around you is quiet. The door is small, but...
Unless we've veered off into a folded M dimension, I'm expecting to step out on the roof.
Folded M dimension. Yes, it is quite likely that we will re-emerge on the M plane. Brace for psycho... Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. You catch a single white flower between your fingers. The young woman looks at the Maybell in your... The lieutenant gives you... This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it, smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on that. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in.
Looks like it, yes.
This medicine cabinet is full of wares. It's been used, but not for scrubbing blood off. It's clean of chemical. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet.
Anything of note?
Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet.
An opioid receptor antagonist. It's used.
This medicine, among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What? This medicine cabinet is stocked with a bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms it's speed, man. Just what you were looking for.
Preptide, a euphemism for pharmacy.
The fuck are you waiting for? Let's get super fucking preppy.
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair is still below her silvery jumpsuit.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. It's much nicer now.
Where the dead body used to hang.
Thank you for that.
There is something in her light brown eyes. A sad.
Oh, yes. Legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the
I am Kim Kitsuragi.
This does not come.
Have I ever? Have you grown accustomed to your
Oh yeah. Feel the power.
I can see that.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man.
Huh. I see.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words
Clasier Amondu, Vredefort, Republic. A bad memory, officer. It's the past. People can't go back to the past.
Thankfully,
I'm 28. Something stupid. Oranese lit. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be.
What about Revacholian literature? People sometimes
No. Revacholian lit is about how magnificent and serious Revachol is. It's about how you have to save the world. Strange. Usually the Revacholian hero does not.
She seems quite relaxed for a victim of assault. But, of course, what scene?
Nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Ranise lit. Many things. A roller skate.
It's the world's most tired. Of course she won a beauty pageant. She's very symmetrical.
I'm afraid you...
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast.
Thank you for your candor.
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. Look, officers, I like this place, but I don't want to become an indentured servant in a brothel.
There are plenty of other reasons for hiding your documents from the law.
It's also why...
Why, yes.
I'm an unpopular girl. There are people back home who don't like me. The kind of hurry where you can't afford to not find your documents. But don't worry. I would love to change the subject. It's not important. Unless I'm some kind of... Phew.
Playfully. She doesn't seem to be overly distressed. Or
If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more... Okie dokie. The record. Yeah. It's pretty deluxe. I did not. Mystery solved then. I kept wondering where it led.
There may be more to this mystery at some later time. She's holding back. Let's make a mental note for now.
A peephole?
Yes, looking into your bedroom, miss.
Okay.
A jitter of fear and disgust moves through her body.
Do you think this is somehow connected to me? Okay. Do you have any way of knowing?
Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess, long enough. The perforation is under the bookshelf on your wall.
Shit. I don't know. Maybe it's been there for a long time. Maybe the local kids use.
I'll be fucking covering it up with a lot of tape, that's for sure.
Was there anything else back there?
Huh.
She feels like quarry, encircled.
Okay.
She's lost in thought, eyes narrowed.
It is.
The lieutenant he finds the answer unsatisfying.
I'm Winter.
How long have you...
About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because thank you.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting... Oh, yes. One of... Like, not being able to stay up for 36 hours comes in handy when you...
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Very funky. Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and...
Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen. By sexually assaulted, you mean...
Yes.
It's a bit early in the morning for...
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Is it? It is afternoon. Time flies. Yeah. I'm gonna go with not.
By him, she must...
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
By they.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Pretty much.
Warming them.
I'm 89% sure. You know how it...
Do you?
Maybe you don't.
There are numerous cigarette...
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here. Serious.
You hear...
Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. We partied. With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Oh, it is.
What did you do?
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made...
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. A little. The drugs were good enough, and...
How did you two meet?
Downstairs. At the bar. He was on some sort of assignment. A military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
She appears aloof, but that scar part, with longing. She misses him.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. Oh, yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
A bitter cringe. It hurt.
You called her?
Yes.
Jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these...
Tearing off his armor, demeaning him. throwing rocks at him.
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffed with nail clippers. And I...
You were right to suspect there might be foul play involved with the broken phone line.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had...
Jigsaw falling into place. This is still... That's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clear.
Thanks. I don't know, sir. It was stupid.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe.
I know it's difficult.
She meant she sees him in her dreams.
You have? Not like I do, I imagine.
She fishes a cigarette out.
I can see the similarity.
Funny.
Funny how?
Nothing. I also saw him. We had a long inspection and that sort of thing sticks.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this...
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military. Worked for Wild Pines. And against the Union.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
They're frequent guests. Downstairs. They have a booth for you. Over drinks.
Like you partied with...
No.
I'm sorry to have to ask this. But have you had...
I have. Which ones, sir?
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about men like that. I don't know.
She breathes.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss.
She nods. Silvery cigarette fumes disappear into her mouth.
Yeah? Alright. Not my favorite. How about...
She looks at the chipped white polish covers the...
Pretty. Looks like a dried Maybell. Alright.
She looked chipped...
Pretty. Why was...
Or an admirer?
Admires?
Question avoided. Let's conclude that she has admirers.
Yes.
Good. Yes. This means she could have heard...
You do not need to know that. What you need is to ask normal police questions. Like...
Get a grip, he thinks. At least do your personal stuff when I'm not here.
Why not? Officer, it's a fine day for questions.